Craig Lee, remember back this Christmas week? Did you get everything you wanted? Because if you didn't, I have a great divorce attorney. I'm kidding, mostly.
I was not kidding.
Okay, this week I will tell you why you will never see a real screen-used Fast and Furious car on the street for the first two movies anyways. And I'll tell you why not right after the message from my sponsor. That story is coming up right after the break. I don't know if you know this, but I actually now have a merch store, and if you haven't checked out the video description below my videos, then you're missing out. Currently, I've got a pack full of movie quote t-shirts, and more styles are being added every month, and new items are in development right now. So have a look, see if there's anything you like, and wear it with pride. The link is in the video description below. I've talked about this on my Instagram for many years and sometimes in videos, but this is the first time I'm talking about it as a topic. Almost every week I get a frantic DM or email or comment proclaiming that somebody saw a real movie car on the street. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but no, you didn't. You did not see a real movie car. How do I know that? Because let me give you some background. After the first two movies in the United States, the hype died down almost the moment that the movies were no longer showing in the theaters. In fact, I never talked about the first two movies until I wrote my book in 2018. So nobody cared from that period, from 2003 to 2013. Nobody gave a about these movies. In the years from 2006 until 2013, these cars from the first two movies were privately trading hands among car museums. Back then, you could buy a screen-used Too Fast and Furious Nissan GTR for $24,000, and I'm not joking, I can pull that up. Nobody cared about those cars or their movies. Suddenly, Eclipse sold for $6,000. That was a movie car, it was on screen. And at that time, Universal was sitting on several movie cars on the back lot. 2005, somebody telling me that the orange Supra and the SKYLINE was parked in a back parking lot. What? And I just got a picture of that about a year ago. I don't know where it is now, but I saw it. They also had a couple of Dom's RX-7s, Jesse's Jetta, and several others. They wouldn't sell them, they wouldn't talk to anybody about those cars. However, Universal did not set it up in a prominent area where fans could get closer to the cars. It was just they put in a corner, nobody gave a about those cars. In fact, Universal Studios here in California just parked the cars out in the sun to rot in a back lot. It was only last year that Universal finally started caring about those cars. Started to recondition one of the cars. It was the Too Fast, Too Furious GTR. It's repainted and cleaned it up and all that kind of stuff. So that looks good. And then in 2013, an accident took the lives of Paul Walker and Roger Rodos. And everything changed because now Paul couldn't drive any new movie cars because he was not alive. Up to that point, I wasn't paying attention to this. In fact, I didn't talk about anything about the Fast and Furious since 2003. And all of a sudden, everybody was asking about the cars. Where's the cars that Brian drove, all that kind of stuff. And in 2019, I went to Elmia, Sweden. Before this, I thought American car museums had all of the used cars used from the first three movies or Universal. That was not true. In the last 4 years, I've traveled to Germany, Holland, Belgium, France, Norway, Italy, Thailand, Japan, and what am I missing? England. I started seeing all these cars that were all real movie cars. I don't know how they got these cars, but somebody sold these cars and they went overseas. And I was, well, how did this happen? Here in the United States, it's a different thing. You have to remember that for each car that you saw in the movie, there were several stunt copies and backup cars. So those cars could have been sold or put in a museum and all that kind of stuff, but they're spoken for. And again, after 2013, these cars started again to be very, 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 very expensive. But you'd think that there were enough cars to go around. You know, we had 8 Supras in the first movie, 6 Eclipses, and 5 RX-7s in the first movie. That's just the first movie. So where are these cars? Where are these cars? For a long time, it was a mystery. Who has who, what, where is it? Is it the United States? Is it Greece? And it's in Germany? Where the hell else? At the same time, I started to see replica cars of the movie cars from the first 2 movies. Why? Because the real movie cars were a fortune to buy one. And this is the time that I started to get DMs on my Instagram from people proclaiming that they saw a real screen used cars driving down the street. The first one I got was funny. This was back in about 2019. There's a guy walking down the street in some not a good neighborhood, and there's a guy working on a green eclipse on cinder blocks in a mobile home community. And he said, oh, this is the car, oh yeah. You think that's the hero car? A real screen used car. The term screen used means that it was an actual car that was shown in the movie. Such cars were built by our team and driven by an actor or an actress or a stunt person. But by 2018, buying a real screen used movie car would cost tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some of them have got over $1 million already. Since around 2018, I started seeing replica movie cars because fans couldn't afford a real movie car. They made their own replica movie car. Some of these replicas are good enough to fool many people. Now here in 2004, I still get dozens of alleged sightings of actual movie cars. Within a few seconds, I have to break the bad news. They just saw a replica car. This is why you won't see genuine movie cars driving down the street or parked in a mobile home carport on cinder blocks or on the front lawn of a house in Bucksnort, Tennessee. Not gonna happen. But if you have these cars, would you drive on the road? They can get stolen. These cars are too valuable and expensive and irreplaceable to leave these cars anywhere else and then a security protected facility. I'll tell you a story about all this. This was a big reason why I sold my movie cars shortly after filming of the first two movies, because I remember that driving around the street in California, we can't drive very, very well. All these people drive like So one of the cars that we have in the first movie, the Mia's Integra, it was totaled. The girl who owned the car was driving it home from someplace and a cement truck hit it and just tore it up. It was nothing. Oh man, it's completely destroyed. None of these guys who build these replica cars even really drive on the street really, because the parts that they put on are very rare. There are replica movie cars all over the world, including Greece, South America, and in Japan. I'm sure there are others, but they haven't reached out to me right now. The people who read these replica cars are die-hard fans. It's harder today to build these cars in 2024 than back in 2000 in many cases. Most parts are discontinued. Most of the companies don't even exist anymore. So nobody's making them and nobody has old stock. So you're screwed. Some of these companies are just gone. And you gotta remember this is 24 years ago. But what pisses me off is when people try to sell their replica cars as screen-used cars. It happened again 2 weeks ago. A guy was looking to buy a green Eclipse. The seller presented it as a movie car with documentation. The buyer reached out to me. In 10 seconds, I knew it was a fake, it's a fraud. Case closed. The car had a glass roof, and this car was a GST, and I know for a fact that all the Eclipses were RSs. So, bull. The guy who put the ad online, if he sold it, he would be guilty of wire fraud. So be careful with that kind of case closed. So for those who are driving around with your badass replica and telling everybody that it's a true movie car, remember that the internet is everywhere. This one guy said it was a Supra, the one that got crashed in Colorado. The steering wheel was on the opposite side, the cars that came from England. And I said to the guy, did you even watch the movie? If you have a replica, you should be very, very proud of it, because it's harder to build it today than then. Because back in the day, you open up Super Straight magazine and you could buy everything. You can buy every part from one page for one of those cars. It's much, much, much harder now. Just be proud of it, okay? I like the cars too, and you definitely get praise and kudos for being so persistent. Most of all, have fun doing with it, okay? Oh, before I go, don't forget that I'm raffling off the #1 1/8 GTR made by Phantom. It's an exact copy of my movie car in Too Fast, Too Furious. I have the only one that's completely put together. It's the first one off the production line. It's sitting upstairs in my office. $50 gets you a chance to own this car. I have a spreadsheet. You have 100 entries. And we're gonna do the ball thing. If your number is picked, you get it, and you only paid $50. If you buy the kit, piece by piece by piece is gonna be $2,000. So $50 gets you a chance. You can buy multiple slots. And if you wanna get with me, hit me with a DM and I'll tell you how to do it, okay? That's it for this week. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks a lot. See ya. Happy New Year's.